Hello, Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Sama Qasim and you're tuning into Radio Lums. So today we are joined here by Marium Naeem. She is one of two students who were selected to represent Lums at the Queen Mary University London Exchange in the spring semester of 2023. She's just arrived back on campus a few days ago, so we're very excited that she could find the time to sit down with us today. So over to you, Mariam. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm good. I just got back to Lums 3 days ago, so just trying to settle in because 7 mahine baad aayi hu, so it's a bit weird. But yeah, how are you?
I'm great as well, and it's lovely to meet you, Mariam. So let's just dive right into it. Let's talk a bit about the exchange in particular. So can you tell us just briefly what is the Queen Mary Exchange program? It's, as you guys must know, it's one of the most highly coveted exchanges that are offered here at Lums. So can you just tell us a bit about that?
So the exchange is an agreement between Lums and Queen Mary University. Jahan two students from Lums can go to Queen Mary to study, and in return two students from Queen Mary can come to Lums to study, and you pay your home university's tuition fee. So for example, अगर Lums से Queen Mary में गई थी तो मैं Lums की tuition fee pay करती हूँ और मैं पढ़ती Queen Mary में हूँ.
Okay, that's very interesting. So just getting a bit more into that, can you take us into the application process of this particular exchange program? Can you tell us what exactly that was like? Can you also comment briefly on the course evaluation aspect of it, and tell us some of the factors which played a crucial role in your selection for this very prestigious program?
So the process started in September 2022. I got an email, जो OIA normal Office of International Affairs, they send an email. The email
A mass email.
Yeah, a mass email is sent to all batches, and you can apply for the exchange program. In the exchange, for the first step is that you fill a form. In the form, आप बताते हो that what extracurriculars you have, why are you a good fit for this program, why do you want to go, how would you promote Lums, questions like that. And once you fill the application program, after 2 or 3 days, if you're shortlisted for an interview, OIA calls you for an interview, and then you go and give an interview, which is about 50 minutes or an hour long. In the interview, they ask you questions like they want to gauge कि आप पाकिस्तान के बारे में कितना जानते हो, and how much can you go and represent your country and your university in particular. So they're also trying to gauge that are you really capable to go and show them, like, okay, you're confident enough to go and represent your country there. And once the interview process is done, after that 2 or 3 days के बाद you get an acceptance email in the case you're selected, and then they send you your the host university's form. उनके portal आपका बनाते हैं, and then you register there, and then the visa process starts. That's a bit tough because in that, like, Office of International Affairs can just help you with documents. Other than that, you have to do that yourself. So once you get to the visa process, which is about 2 to 3 months long, उसके बाद the course evaluations, like you said, those start. And for course evaluations, it's like school specific. So for example, if I'm taking SDSB courses, I'll enroll for, just Queen Mary when enrollment happened, I enrolled for the courses, and then I emailed their study abroad department that please send me the course details, and then you send those course outlines to school के heads. For example, HSS के Office of International Affairs tells you कि psychology के कौन course evaluation कर सकता है, economics के कौन कर सकता है, and then you send your course outlines to those heads, and then they send it to the instructors. You cannot directly deal with the instructors. In the case of STSB, you send it to UGPCO, and the process is a bit long because obviously you cannot directly deal with instructors. So you send it to the school heads. They take about 1 to 2 weeks. HSS is relatively more fast. SDSB, because UGPCO is looking after all departments, it's more time consuming. So once you're done with course evaluations, they just give you a measure कि अच्छा 3 credit hours होंगे, इसके 4 credit hours होंगे, 2 भी होते हैं कभी-कभी and 1 भी होते हैं. Depends on the course. They try to match it to Lums के courses, and once the course evaluation is done, you can take the course, and then the final decision is taken by RO, which is taken when you come back from your exchange. So उधर आपके course finalize होता है कि अच्छा आप credits दिए, and for credits it's a pass-fail policy. So if you get a minimum B in your host university, in the university you're going to, then your course is passed. Otherwise it is not passed.
So just to comment a bit more on that, would you say that the course evaluation process sort of established your academic standing here in Lums in a way that was comparable to the university in London, so they could evaluate your standing over here?
No, like it doesn't depend on your academic standing. They just tell you that if you take this course, आपको इतने credits मिलेंगे, which is like your academic standing doesn't matter there. So for example, I took a course just to international finance था, economics का same course that HSS offer करता है, and that's also 4 credit hours, and then they match that if the topics that are being studied there are they similar to the ones that are being studied here. The chapters did match, so that's why they gave me 4 credits for that course. And then if you get a B over there, they just passed you regardless of your academic standing. But if you were on scholarship, then your grade does matter. Like for example, अगर आपको इधर आके you want to continue your scholarship, and
Oh,
for that your grade matters. Like if you get an A there, then that's an A year. If there's no A plus there, you don't get any A plus here.
okay. So did you in this process also have to get references or recommendations from your instructors, or did the process not include that?
No, like we can't directly contact the instructors. So the school heads do it. They just send the course outline and the instructors evaluate and they tell it. So you're not directly involved. They don't know वो कौन से बच्चे की course evaluation कर रहे हैं.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can we talk a bit more about the factors which sort of made your application stand out, and what factors played like a very big role in your selection?
Okay, yeah. So for my exchange program, it was the Office of International Affairs which decides. For example, जो UGrad US वाला होता है, उसमें Office of International Affairs has no say. But for LUMS, it was Office of International Affairs. So for me, extracurriculars in LUMS really did matter. I did a TAship. I was part of societies, and then the academic standing also to some extent does matter because in the form they do ask you for your GPA, etc.
Definitely.
So decent academic standing.
Can you tell us the range of GPA that is
I don't know what's the exact GPA that helps, but I think 3.6 above might like help you stand out a lot. But I know people who've also gone with a 3.2 or a 3.1. It also depends on the university you're going to.
Exactly.
Like Queen Mary is a fairly competitive program because it's a more well-renowned university and it's a Russell Group university in the UK as well. So that's why
they would have a higher
like they also want to make sure that if you're sending kids there, वो academically class में stand out करें because obviously you're representing your university there.
Definitely.
And बाकी extracurriculars, and I think application does play a very important part because application से वो कोई 20-30% selection कर लेता है, and उसके बाद the interview is also very important. So like go prepared for the interview that they want to see that can you represent Pakistan, because exchange का main purpose is representing Pakistan and your university. So if you can prove those two factors, then that, like in my interview they asked me कि how would you represent Pakistan, आपकी क्या motivation है जाने की.
What did you say?
So I told them that I just want to go and explore and represent Pakistan and my university in particular because जब मैं वहाँ गई थी मैंने actually realize किया था कि हम पाकिस्तान के सिर्फ 2 लोग थे, इंडिया से भी कोई नहीं था. Most of them were Americans. So I had a very good chance to represent that okay, there's this very good university in Pakistan, it's LUMS. And when I say that they check people with academic standing, when you go there, when you're interacting in classes and stuff, and you like उधर class participation नहीं होती है, हम LUMS के students को बहुत आदत होती है. So when they're talking, मेरे साथ दूसरा बच्चा होता था, हम भी जब क्लास में बात करते थे लोग देखते थे अच्छा ये कौन है, कहाँ से आए हैं. So that helps. Like that's the way you represent your country and your university, I think.
Sahi hai. So you just talked a bit about your motivation, but can we talk about your motivation for applying specifically to a program in the UK on a more personal level? Like, why did you have this desire to go?
Yeah, so that's something that I've wanted since undergraduate. Like I applied before LUMS, I applied to universities abroad and I really wanted to go to London School of Economics, and when I got rejected from there, मैंने बहुत मेहनत की application पे, but when I got rejected, so I realized that I can't go abroad because for other universities it was very expensive and it didn't really seem worth at that time because it was very expensive.
Okay.
So that's when I realized कि अच्छा undergrad पे तो नहीं जा सकते, फिर अपने आप को like अच्छा masters में चली जाऊंगी, हो जाएगा, कुछ नहीं होता. But then I remember in freshman year जब हमारा online semester होता, I got this email that there's this UGrad program that's coming up and I applied to that program. I remember मैंने अपनी सारी pocket money से counselor को भी पैसे दिए. मैंने कहा she can help me in writing my personal statement because मैं LSE से personal statement की वजह से reject हुई थी. But I even got rejected from that and then I kind of gave up. But then I had no idea that I can go on an exchange. But when this email came up, I again went to Office of International Affairs. मैंने कहा मुझे UGrad में apply करना है, and they said that if you've been to the US before, it's very hard to get it. So that's when she told me that you can apply to other programs, and she told me about London, and that program was from HSS people. So Office of International Affairs told me that if you go to an HSS program, you can just cover up your free electives, and that's what I did. So the motivation was that I couldn't go back in undergraduate and then for other exchanges as well. So I thought this was the best opportunity to go and experience how studying abroad is, which I think many people want to do. And exchange is a very good opportunity in that sense because obviously you don't have to pay the tuition fee, and that's one of the biggest expenses. So if you can afford the hostel fee and the travel expenses, I think I covered it through the scholarship at LUMS. So that's why I was like, itna acha cover up bhi ho raha hai, and then I'm getting an experience as well. So that was something that really motivated me.
I think everything just fell into place uske baad.
Yeah, like Allah plans in the best ways, I think say.
Yeah. So can we talk a bit about your experience now, having lived abroad for the past 6 months, as well as having experienced a totally different culture? I think a variety of different cultures.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
बहुत ज़्यादा जगहों से students आए हुए उन्हें. So can you just comment a bit on that, and like for anyone who's watching or listening, tell them a bit about how it was for you. as someone who had gotten so many, rejections in this regard in the past, finally to get your chance to go and experience the things you wanted to, what did it feel like?
I think it was a beautiful feeling. Like, I spent Ramzan there, and I remember this one day, हम सारे international students जो अमेरिका से और आए हुए थे, they planned an iftar. So वो सारे non-Muslims थे, but they planned an iftar for us. ना मुझे सारे बैठे हैं, different cultures से बैठे हुए हैं. So that's when it hit कि अच्छा ठीक है, ये dream भी पूरी हो गई. I'm sitting with people with different cultures and I'm interact करें. So in that sense, it was really fun and it was really nice interacting with people. And apart from that, I think solo traveling was also one of the most amazing things that I enjoyed. But I think if you talk about how it like helped me develop myself, I think it changed my perspective on life a bit. कि अच्छा, if you want to enjoy things, you don't always have to be at the best of the places. Like when you go there, आपको you realize आप अकेले हो, आप enjoy कर सकते हो. Like exchange में आपके साथ friends इधर से तो कोई नहीं जा रहा, आप जा रहे हो वहाँ जाके बना रहे हो. ऑब्वियसली कल्चरल शिफ्ट की वजह से फ्रेंड्स भी डिफरेंट टाइप्स के होते हैं. सो आई स्टार्टेड टू एक्सप्लोर थिंग्स अलोन. एंड मुझे याद है मैं बस में बैठती थी, कभी ट्रेन्स में घूम रही हूँ, और मेरे लास्ट डे पे आई वाज सो सैड दैट आई वोंट गेट टू सिट इन दिस बस अगेन इन दिस ट्रेन. एंड व्हेन आई गॉट बैक आई वाज इन कराची एंड आई वाज लुकिंग एट द बस दैट वाज गोइंग, वो भी बिल्कुल अच्छी सी थी, बट आई स्टार्टेड टू थिंक अबाउट इट कि अच्छा मैं ये भी जाके ट्राई करूँ. जब मैं वहाँ से करके आई थी तो मेरा उस चीज़ पर पर्सपेक्टिव बहुत चेंज हुआ था कि आई वॉन्ट टू लाइक इफ आई वॉन्ट टू एक्सप्लोर थिंग्स आई डोंट हैव टू बी इन यूके necessarily for that. Exactly. Like if you have the motivation to do it, you can do it anywhere. Definitely. There's so much in Lahore to explore as well. So that's how it helped me change my perspective. But I think if I had to recommend someone a study abroad program, I would definitely recommend it if it's affordable for them, because it's very different from a normal undergrad program or a master's program. You're there for 6 months. Your incentive is not कि अच्छा मैं बहुत अच्छी पढ़ाई करूँ, आपका होता है अच्छा मेरा B भी आ जाए, I'm good enough to go. Other than that, I have so much more to explore. I remember मैं हर यूनिवर्सिटी के UK में like LSE हो गया और कोई और भी यूनिवर्सिटी होगी, सिटी यूनिवर्सिटी में, हर उसके पाकसॉक के इवेंट में जाती थी और मैं डिफरेंट लोगों से मिली हूँ. सब इम्प्रेस होते थे, किसी को नहीं पता था कि पाकिस्तान से बच्चे एक्सचेंज पे आते हैं. सो इट वाज अ वेरी गुड एक्सपीरियंस इन दैट केस. आई मेट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, डिफरेंट पीपल. लम्स अलुमनाई से मिली, आई वेंट टू दिस लम्स अलुमनाई UK सेशन. सो इट वाज रियली गुड इन दैट सेंस, लाइक वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम अंडरग्रेड और मास्टर्स.
ठीक है. So let's talk a bit more about the technical aspect of the exchange now. Let's talk specifically about the courses that you studied while you were there, because as you mentioned right now, आपको उधर पढ़ाई की इतनी फिक्र नहीं होती, because you know कि even if you get a B, you're still good to go. So in that sense, how did you choose the courses that you ended up studying over there? What specific criteria did you have in mind जब आपने select किए थे? And उसके अलावा, like, if it's possible, can we talk a bit about the payment structure of these exchange programs as well? Because I think that's something that's one of the major concerns of people who are applying for them. So I think these two things are very important.
So talking about the courses, I won't say that the courses were easy, because UK's education system is very different from that in Pakistan. So instead of CP quizzes and assignment, you just have a final exam there, and that's like a CI wala exam. So 80% का आपका final examination है, and that's fairly hard. Like it's a very different kind of experience, because यहाँ हमें आदत होती है कि फाइनल तक हम चिल होते हैं कि अच्छा बस अब 25% का बाकी. बट ओवर देयर इन द एंड वाज लाइक ओके, you're giving a proper CI, you have to study 12 chapters now, and it's happening. So the last 1 month was fairly tough. Like I had to write 3,000 words के research papers, etc. But about the courses, like I didn't have a lot of variety to choose, because obviously the most important thing that helps you choose courses is the credits. Like if you are getting enough amount of credits, you're like अच्छा ये course ले लो, because main thing आपकी credits approval ही होती है. So I took international finance, like I said, which was an economics course that was for 4 credits, and I took finance case studies, which is ACF over here, applied corporate finance. So I think that was a very good experience, because मेरा core भी cover हो गया था उससे, वो SDSB का core है, and it was taught in a very different way. But उसकी भी जैसे grading थी कि 60% project है, 40% presentation. That was tough वाली presentation. So I took that, and then I took international relations. I've never done Pol Sci. I did over there, because I wanted to get done with my free electives as well. 4 credits का भी था, but it was a very interesting course. So I had a lot of diversity in terms of courses. एक मेरा economics का था, एक मेरा finance का था, and then there was this international relations, and then there was this course research methodology, where they taught us how to do research, how to write research papers, which is like qualitative and quantitative. There's Q&Q, some course in SDSB was जैसा है. So there was a lot of diversity in terms of courses, and थोड़ा ये भी होता है कि आप ऐसा कोर्स लो जो आप पढ़ सकते हो, वरना क्योंकि पढ़ना तो इन दी एंड है, पास भी तो करना है ना कोर्स. सो या आई टुक दीज कोर्सेज. एंड एज फॉर द पेमेंट structure, like I said, like you pay lump tuition fee, and that covers your tuition fee expense there. Apart from that, you have to cover accommodation, जो हॉस्टल की होती है, you have to pay for that. If you get it within the university, it's relatively cheaper. बाहर थोड़ी ज़्यादा महंगी होती है. And you have to cover your food expense. I used to cook a lot because the food was expensive. So like it's challenging in that terms that you have a lot of responsibility now. Either PDC tha, or it's fairly expensive. So the cooking part was a bit tough. And other than that, travel expenses, you have to bear that.
Do they give you any sort of living stipend as well?
No, it depends on the program. At the Queen Mary program was not a fully funded one, so in that you just have to.
So you had to finance all those things by yourself.
Yeah, apart from the tuition fee. But I think that if you can afford it, the tuition fee aspect is really good as well, because aap idhar lumps mein 5 to 6 lakh, depending on the credits you take, you're paying that. Or udhar, I remember I told them that I want to take an extra course to get my credits. And they kaha tha wo extra course ki fee is 6 lakhs. So like
One
it's
course.
like so it's like 24 lakh unki fee hoti hai ek semester ki. So if you're getting that in free, it's a very big deal, I think.
ठीक है. So I think as for my last question, I would just want to know, obviously now we've covered your background extensively कि ठीक है, you took these, you were not able to get these opportunities in the past, and you were finally able to get one very major and life-changing, sort of like a transformative opportunity now. So coming out of all of that now and coming back to Pakistan, coming back to LUMS and having to complete one more year here, what do you think is the advice that you would give to other students जो हमसे छोटे हैं, who are looking to apply into these programs and who have the same aspirations and goals which you did, and even the students who may have been rejected multiple times, those who have lost hope? What is the advice that you would now give to those people?
Okay, so firstly, I think if you want to go on an exchange, just try to plan it a year before, because when you're going on an exchange, your credits are like very, आपको नहीं पता, unpredictable होते हैं. कभी आपको शायद 12 मिल जाए, 14 मिल जाए. मतलब एक point पे मेरा ऐसा था कि मुझे पता था मुझे सिर्फ 9 मिल रहे हैं. That was that bad. So if you want to go on an exchange and be relaxed over there, just try to get done with your credits before, and more than credits, your course, because it's very difficult to cover your course over there. So get done with your credits if you want to go on an exchange. Pre-plan it a bit. But other than that, I think one important thing I would also like to mention is that if you're going on an exchange when you're a borderline senior, you can do your SPROJ online over there. That's a clause many people do not know about. It's there in the handbook. So you can always do an SPROJ, and that can help you get 4 credits. So if you have credit issues and you're a borderline senior, that's something you can do. But other than that, an advice I would give is that I think we always think कि अच्छा हम बाहर नहीं गए, इतने लोग हम जो हमारे grades थे, शायद उनके पास पैसे ज़्यादा थे तो वो बाहर चले गए. बहुत लोगों का ये mindset होता है. But when you go abroad, you realize that you are in a very, very, very good place. Like LUMS is a super competitive university. Like Queen Mary में मैं जाके देखती हूँ, मुझे लगता था अच्छा if मुझे competitions feel होता है, exposure मिलता है, तो मुझे ज़्यादा LUMS में मिलता है. वो cultural shock वो अच्छा था change. But this university prepares you for so much. मैं उधर alumni से भी बात करती थी जो LSE में पढ़ रहे हैं या कहीं भी ऑक्सफोर्ड कैम्ब्रिज में भी हैं. वो यही बताते थे कि हमें इतना प्रेशर हमने बर्दाश्त किया हुआ है. वी बीन थ्रू CP wars so much, quizzes and assignments वगैरह, that you're prepared for it. So I think value the place you're in. It's full of opportunities. We always want better, but we forget that we're in a very good place. So I think one thing that I learned was that I'm grateful that I am in LUMS. हमें बहुत वो गिले शिकवे भी होते हैं कि फीस ज़्यादा है, ये जो बहुत वो valid concerns but the place is really good. Like when you go abroad, you learn to value it because it teaches you a lot. Like आपको लगता है अगर compare करना है मुझे, अगर कोई पूछे if I want to study in Queen Mary or LUMS, I would choose LUMS 100 times. For an exchange, Queen Mary is very good, but I think in Pakistan, given we're in Pakistan, LUMS is a very good university. So value the place you're in. And the second advice would be that if you're going on an exchange, it looks very fancy when you're looking लोगों की snaps पे कि अच्छा ये solo travel कर रहे हैं, जगहों पे जा रहे हैं, you're traveling every weekend. It's very fun in that terms. Like I went to a lot of cities, so it's very fun in that terms. But also know that what you're getting into, it is not easy. Yes. You're gonna go and live there alone, and you have to spend time alone a lot. So like loneliness is a battle to fight. It's hard at times. You have to like learn to live with yourself. कभी-कभी आपको हर दफा travel करने के लिए लोग भी नहीं मिलते. Like most of my friends over there were Pakistani students, full-time students. So like I had an incentive to travel, that I'm here for an exchange. मेरा पास फेल है, मैं तो मजे करने आई हूँ, बट हर कोई ये करने नहीं आया उधर. So like मुझे होता था कि अच्छा वो तो अगले 3 साल ही कर लेंगे. I have these 6 months. So I remember I went for indoor skydiving one day alone. कभी मैं केबल कार में अकेले जाके बैठ रही हूँ. So like these are things we've never done in Pakistan alone. हम कितनी दफ़ा बाहर LUMS के खाना खाने अकेले गए हैं. So you have to be prepared that if you're getting into something, there is a good side and a bad side. So just be prepared. It's hard at times. You see, okay, your friends, आप एक पूरा friends group यहाँ छोड़ के जाते हो, आप उनको देख रहे होते हो कि अच्छा उनके पास सारे लोग हैं, they're enjoying, and you feel happy for them, but also you feel very lonely there. So when you're getting into it, just know what you're getting into and make the most of it. Like you can enjoy it to your fullest, but just go with the perspective कि अच्छा मैंने अकेले भी enjoy करना और बहुत different होगा. Culture shock भी बहुत होता है. आप friends आपको मिलते हैं लेकिन आपकी values और उनकी values में बहुत फर्क होता है. And when you go on an exchange, people are like less willing to accept you कि तो 6 महीने में चली जाएगी, मैं क्यों इस पे इतनी मेहनत करूँ.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that really helped me were LUMS alumni over there. They're phenomenal people. They're so helpful and you get very helpful people on the way. Like आपको कहीं ना कहीं से help मिल जाती है.
So is there an extensive network of alumni?
बहुत अच्छा है उधर. Like I remember हमारा एक meetup हुआ था जिसमें the vice chancellor came. And there were like 100 LUMS alumni over there. हम सबसे youngest थे, मैं और जो मेरे साथ दूसरा बच्चा गया था, हम सबसे youngest उधर घूमने लोग आप लोग graduate भी नहीं हुए, आप लोग इस program में क्यों आए हो? But it felt really good. So like I think the LUMS alumni is really good. You get your friends उधर जो masters के लिए LUMS से आए हैं. मुश्किल भी होता है, but they're very very helpful people. So if you have the opportunity, it's like a must go, I think.
So on the whole, I would say कि it's definitely an opportunity that comes with its troubles and its burdens as well. But I think on the whole, it's one definitely worth exploring.
Life-changing experience. Okay. It also changes your perspective of life. कि अच्छा जिंदगी जीनी है तो हर जगह जी जा सकती है. You don't have to be in London to do that.
सही है, ठीक है. I think that's all from my side. And it was lovely to host you, Marium.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to be here. Thank you so much.
So thank you so much for attending.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.